Earlier this week, Kevin Wilson agreed to a new 6-year contract at Indiana designed to keep him in Bloomington through the 2021 football season. Indiana head coach kind enough to join us from our campus studio in Bloomington. Kevin, first and foremost, thanks for the time and congratulations on the new deal.
Hey, thanks, Rick. We're excited and great to be with you today.
No Big Ten coach has a contract whose duration is longer. Only Jim Harbaugh matches you going all the way through 2021. What does that say about Indiana's commitment to you and, in turn, your commitment to the Hoosiers?
Well, and I think it starts 5 years ago with Mr. Glass. He gave us a 7-year extension when most times you're getting a 5-year deal, and maybe in second or third or fourth year they show some frustration as we had kind of came through the coaching changes at IU with the instability and whatnot to get this thing grounded in a great conference. Now that's even divided into one of the strongest divisions in the Big Ten East, to have the time to have the continuity of staff, player enhancement, recruiting enhancement. We're very blessed and very fortunate, and I appreciate our administration, Board of Trustees, President McRobbie, most importantly, Mr. Glass, to having the confidence, not in me, but in the group we're assembling to take this program and continue to match the football program of what I think is one of the great institutions in the Big Ten and in the country.
Fred Glass did say very clearly, Kevin, that one of the areas of importance will be recruiting and retaining assistant coaches. It's been such a competitive area. We've seen guys like Dave Aranda, Bob Shoop leave for different teams, different leagues, making 2 times, sometimes close to 3 times the amount of money. How much more important is that today than it was, say, 5 or 10 years ago?
Well, very important. I mean, you're talking time on task. You're at a school where you need to see a lot of guys. And being able to travel by private plane, which costs more money, but with limited days and to get in to see guys, those are little things that cost money, but it just makes you so much more proficient and effective in your approach. So it's one thing. I think my time coming through Miami of Ohio with Coach Walker for 9 years, 3 years at Northwestern, I think coming out of those recruiting environments and budgets helped me understand some of our limitations, but we've got to find ways to stay competitive. And it's not about wasting money. It's about building relationships, targeting the right guys, and then really investing back into your strength program, your nutrition, all the support systems to develop the athlete, and then have the coaches in place. So as we were working through this to what is really basically a new contract, a new 6-year deal, it was really talking more about the big picture and more broad-based for our players and for our staff than anything that was, hey, Kevin Wilson or coach related. So again, Mr. Glass gets that. I appreciate that. And like I said, we're very blessed and feel good about where we're at and the challenges in front of us, but the opportunity to attack those challenges and attack them with success.
Kevin, as you reflect back on the year that was 2015, how difficult is it not to play a little bit of the what-if game and wonder what else you could have accomplished had Jordan Howard, had Nate Sudfeld stayed healthy the entire year?
Well, at the same time, every team has those issues. You know, you look at a year ago, Ohio State wins the national championship. That's a premier team, and you can say that they, have recruited, more players or whatever. But they went through 3 quarterbacks, and still at the end on their 3rd quarterback are playing high-end football. You've got to have enough players in place and a system in place that you can overcome some of the glitches. So for Nate or Jordan to miss some time, that's a part of it. I think losing a great player like Jordan Howard, but having a second running back run for 1,000 yards shows to me the growth of our program. He's a tremendous player. He's first-team All-Big Ten. We lose an All-Big Ten running back at IU, and we have a second running back go for 1,000. We have 2 first-team kids that made All-American in the O-line. That, to me, is some of the growth. We got to continue to grow as a program. We got to continue to enhance defensively. I just think this year, the way our kids continue to compete against the elite teams was encouraging. We're far from disappointed, but we've got a lot of things we got to do to get over the hump. And I think this contract is going to give us the continuity to keep enhancing this program and get to where we want it and need it to be.
That second 1,000-yard rusher, of course, Devine Redding, a star in the bowl game, showed he can be the lead back. But what about that offensive line and the guys in front of him, specifically replacing an All-American in Jason Spriggs?
Well, we've recruited well. We've complemented that line with a great tight end group. And so the way Michael Cooper and Anthony Casaro and the way Brandon Knight played was a big part of that O-line group, Rick. We've got some really good guys coming, some great players coming back. Our skill, we've got a 1,000-yard receiver coming back in Simi Cobbs, a 900-yard receiver in Ricky Jones, 700 receiver Mitchell Page. We got to find the quarterback piece. but with the line. It all goes with the line. It all starts there. I think we're the 4th team in college football history to have a 3,500-yard passer, 2,000-yard rushers, and a 1,000-yard receiver. And quite honestly, 2 of those times it happened in the offenses I've been a part of. So I love our offensive package. We're going to stay stable. We're going to work to get better there, and we've really got to enhance the defense to make ourselves a complete team.
Mention the questions at quarterback as Nate Sudfeld's college career comes to a close. As good as he was on the field, Kevin, and I had the opportunity to talk with him several times during his career, I'd certainly make the argument he was an even better young man. What are you going to miss the most about Nate?
Well, the thing I don't know if I'm going to miss, but I appreciate the way he prepared and worked so hard down the stretch was a standard of preparation and playing and commitment to winning for his football team that we had not had. He's leaving some visuals and pictures of not just game performance, but the way he prepped and studied and led our football team. When you walk around here, you're always the quarterback, and we need a quarterback competing and prepping and playing at a high level. The way he finished his career, to me, is just a standard that I think is going to help these young players take us to the next level. So I'm indebted to him. Great stats, great player. I appreciate us getting us where we're knocking on the door, but I really think he's set a legacy or leaving a legacy that we can now have the standard of play that we need offensively and at the quarterback position.
Finally, Kevin, from an outside perspective, I'm sure you hear it, the so-called experts always say the goal at Indiana should be to get to the postseason. Some would say that's too lofty. Some would say that's much too low. From your perspective, what should the standard be for this team on an annual basis before every season kicks off?
Well, our first deal, Rick, and great question. We never said we wanted to be just a bowl team because we're there this year at 6-6. We've got to be a better team than that. And we got to be strong enough to be more consistent and play better in all phases. And we've grown a lot as a program and have accomplished some things with academics and some victories, but it still is not at the level that matches this school. The standard of this team was always to have constant and consistent daily improvement, good days after good days after good days. Rick, we've gotten to the point where for a couple of years we've competed solidly in a strong division. We now need to take it where we start winning in this division. Those great programs aren't going away. They've always been here, but we want to have a program that can embrace that challenge, look those teams in the eye, recruit with those guys, develop with those guys, and start finding a way to get the victories that our fan base and that really our players and our program wants, and we're going to fight hard to do that.
Indiana head coach Kevin Wilson on the heels of signing a new contract designed to keep him in Bloomington through the 2021 football season. Kevin, as always, great to catch up. Thanks for the time today.
Thank you, Rick. Good to be here.